Keeping with the theme of a mild February, the center of it all has stories that are sure to warm your heart. So stick around, COIA starts right now. Good morning and welcome to our second edition of 2016. Lots of stories to get to this morning, from hockey to bullet to a great story of athletic triumph. We have a loaded show for you this morning. But to kick things off, we start with a great idea for a perfect Sunday afternoon date. After all, it is February.
It's more than just what's on the label. It's more than just what you might see in a pamphlet or in an audio tour, because you can ask questions.
Have we piqued your interest? Good, because the Docent Choice Tours at the Palmer Museum of Art at Penn State is a perfect relaxing activity for a Sunday afternoon. Museum gallery volunteers who have worked and trained at the museum for over a year become your personal tour guide through the art and history housed in Palmer.
They're taking the things that they are most interested in about the Palmer Museum of Art, and they are synthesizing those things into a broad theme, which then makes it so that they can take people through and show them more about the works of art, point out things that they might not already know or maybe didn't notice if they've ever seen them before, and then they can answer questions about any of those works of art.
Tours run every Sunday through March 8th and begin at 2 p.m. With 12 different topics featured, everyone can find that perfect talking point.
There will surely be something for everybody, but also being able to not only talk to this person who's taking you through, but to be able to hear what other people are interested in and the questions that they have makes for a really rich experience. And then of course afterward, we're serving refreshments so that people can stand and talk a little bit.
All year, Palmer hosts many of the elementary schools in the region. And this is a perfect opportunity for mom and dad to bring the youngster back and bond over a future passion.
There tend to be works of art here that kind of become favorites, and so I love the idea that there are kids who are bringing their parents or their grandparents or whomever back in the museum to tell them what they've learned.
That could be anything from landscapes to the paintings to Asian ceramics, all in the relatively small group ranging from 15 to 40 people. It doesn't get more personal than that, so you can throw that museum fatigue out the window.
That relationship that's formed between the museum staff and docents and the public when we're able to offer these kinds of things, because I think it's a lot more fun as a human being to walk through a museum with someone who maybe knows a couple of things that you may not know, but also someone who's interested in hearing what you think about these things too.
Docent tours are a great experience for those who have a passion for art, while at the same time offering a perfect opportunity for someone new to the field to check out Palmer.
If you haven't come to the museum before and you're interested in one of the topics, then you should definitely come, because you will not only get information, but you'll get some of your questions answered too.
Just starting in January, the tours have been a huge success. So great that they're really considering extending the season all the way through the summer months. It sure does look like a great time. When we come back, I have the story of Jessica Stenson, who completed and finished her first indoor triathlon. Welcome back to the center of it all. Inspirational stories are all around us here in central Pennsylvania. Last episode, I told you about a great event hosted by the State College YMCA, their first annual indoor triathlon. I went over to cover that event, and during it, I saw a great inspirational story of Jessica Stetson, who completed and finished her first indoor triathlon. Swim, bike, run. The classic triathlon, a test for even the world's best athletes. Jessica Stetson is not the most athletic person. She suffers from cerebral palsy, a neurological condition that affects the body's muscle movements. Jessica's heart and will, though, was on display as she raced against the clock.
It's quite the workout, wasn't it, huh? Right.
A workout indeed. Starting in the pool, Jessica completed 2.5 laps, over 1.2 miles on the bike, and ran just under 0.2 of a mile, all while under the proud and watchful eyes of her mom and dad.
Well, Jessie works out every day. She works out 3 days a week here, and other places 2 days a week. So she's fit. There's not much of fat on that body, is there, huh? I knew she could do it. She puts her head to something, she can do almost everything, right?
While Dad was right behind her on the bike, his nerves were going a mile a minute during the entire competition.
That was awesome. Actually, the swim was the most intriguing part of the race, I think, because you worked your butt off there, didn't you, huh? Yeah.
As for her PIC, Josh, a welcoming can-do attitude is what makes the Y in State College special.
She was cutting it close, but she came in about 10 minutes before we started, and it was just great timing to have her there, and you know, that's what we're about here at the Y, and connected with people and involving them in something that we love to do here, and just giving them a chance, an opportunity to do something they never thought 6 months ago that they could even do.
Jessica's favorite part of the race?
Seeing Josh. Right.
And you guessed it, more races to come.
Yeah.
What's next on the agenda? What a great event and such an inspirational story. Keep it up, Jessica. When we come back, it's time for us to head on in to Mel's Kitchen. Glad you're still with us here on the center of it all. You know, when you think of gourmet food, you probably think lobster and steak. Have you ever thought about hot dogs? Don't look at me like that. Yes, I said hot dogs, and that's exactly what Mel has in store for us today.
Hot dogs, one of my favorite subjects. I relish eating them, never tire of discussing them, and whenever I'm visiting a place that's famous for their hot dogs, I make a point of eating one or two. Today, we're talking about the hot dogs sold on the sidewalks of New York City. The dirty water dog. Let's get started. Originally called Dachshund sausages, after the long, thin, cute little canine, hot dogs were first sold by German immigrants pushing wooden carts through the Bowery of New York City in the 1860s. By the 1890s, college students had coined the terms dog wagon and hot dog, referencing the vendors selling their hot dogs to college kids on campuses all over America. Before we can cook our hot dogs, we have to make our toppings, and they're German in heritage too. Today, we're making a slightly sweet with just enough heat, tomato-based onion sauce, and of course, sauerkraut. To get started, I've heated 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in the bottom of a 3.5 4-quart deep skillet, and I'm adding 1/4 inch half moon shaped sliced yellow onions, and I've got about 5 to 6 cups of them here. This is so easy. It takes about 5 minutes to make, and all I'm going to do is cook these, stirring them almost constantly for about 5 minutes until they're soft and the word is actually sweated. We're just going to sweat the onions for about 5 minutes. My onions have been on about 6 minutes. The volume is reduced by half. They're not browned. They're still a little crunchy in the center, but they're nice and limp. Now it's time to stir in my dry spices. Nothing fancy. I've got chili powder, black pepper, salt, and New York's secret ingredient, cinnamon. Those stirred in. Cook this for about 5 or 10 seconds. My spices are all stirred in. Oh, they smell wonderful. That cinnamon is really the secret. Now I'm just going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey. This is going to depend on how sweet you like your onion sauce. Quite frankly, I go for a little bit sweeter side because I like the contrast of the sweet next to the sauerkraut. So I'm going to stir this in really quick. Just let it cook fast. Now for the tomato-based part. I'm adding a 1/4 cup of chili sauce. And when I say chili sauce, If you like ketchup, you're going to like chili sauce in this a lot better. And a tablespoon of hot sauce was stirred into that. And now we're just going to get this all to a really nice rapid simmer, get it all stirred through thoroughly. And last but not least, I'm going to lower this heat just a little bit. I've got a half cup of water, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch as a thickener, and I'm stirring those together. I'm going to add this to the sauce. Adjust this to a steady but gentle simmer and let this cook until the sauce thickens, about 2 to 3 minutes. This has been cooking for about 2.5 minutes. Beautifully thickened. Smells wonderful. Can't wait for you to taste it. I'm just going to turn this off, transfer this to a serving bowl, and it's time to make my sauerkraut. My onion sauce is in a bowl and it's cooling. I rinsed out my pan, melted 6 tablespoons of butter in it, and I'm going to add 1.5 to 2 cups of diced onion this time. And just like making the starting part of the onion sauce, we're going to let these onions sweat and soften for another 5 to 6 minutes. Making sauerkraut is really kind of straightforward. You can use the directions on the back of the bag. I never buy canned sauerkraut. You can use your own favorite recipe for sauerkraut, leftover sauerkraut, or you can just follow this, which is my all-purpose recipe. My onions have cooked about 4.5 to 5 minutes. They're nice and soft. I'm going to season them with some salt and pepper, half teaspoon of sea salt, teaspoon of coarsely ground black pepper. Quickly stir that in. After this, we've got a 2-pound bag of well-drained sauerkraut. Again, I never buy my sauerkraut in a can. I always buy it fresh in the bag in the refrigerated section of the grocery store. I'm going to stir all of the onions in. And last, 1/4 cup of water. And let this slowly simmer and steam, stirring it pretty often for about 15 minutes. My kraut's been cooking for about 15 to 16 minutes. It's soft and tender and smells fantastic. I'm just going to put this in a food storage container, rinse out this skillet once again, and then we're going to cook our hot dogs. A dirty water dog is a boiled hot dog. Why? Because back in the days of the wooden push cart, cooking hot dogs over an open, portable flame was really risky business. A lot of hot dog carts went up in smoke. The solution? Vendors started cooking, storing, and transporting their hot dogs in insulated containers of seething hot water. Hence the nickname Dirty Water Dog. The water wasn't dirty at all. I'm simmering about 2 quarts of water, and I'm going to add my hot dogs to it, and I'm just going to cook them about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm using Hebrew National hot dogs. In New York City, that favorite dog is the Sabret brand hot dog. Its all-natural casing actually pops when you bite into it. Unfortunately, Sabret isn't available to me here in Happy Valley. I'm using my favorite brand. You use yours too. I'm going to let these simmer, and then it's time to top our hot dogs. The hot dog. It's America's #1 street and stadium food. In my food world, a well-constructed, high-quality hot dog is every bit as gourmet as a filet mignon or a lobster tail. On that note, get them while they're hot. It's time to eat. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
Those dogs were really great. I do prefer mine, however, without the kraut. Don't forget, head on over to Mel's blog, kitchenencounters.typepad.com, for even more great recipes. When we come back, I head up to Pagula to check out what's going on the ice, and I meet my new friend, Bullet. Hopefully we have your Sunday morning off to a flying start. You know what's off to a flying start? Penn State hockey. In just its 4th season of Division I hockey, they are having tremendous success building the program. I wanted to find out if that success was carrying over to some of the youths in the area that wanted to pick up the game. So I headed up to Pagula to check in on some of the developmental leagues. Dedication, athleticism, and toughness, 3 words that I would use to describe hockey. It really is a sport unlike any other, and is gaining steam right here in central Pennsylvania.
The program here is kind of doubled in numbers from last year, so it's been great to see. We kind of restructured. We have another group after this, but we've split the ice just so we have 2 groups out here instead of all 5. Because we had just had too many kids. As you can see, the ice is pretty full with this group. So,
the best part about kids picking up the sport is seeing how they gravitate towards their idols. Penguins and Flyers sweaters are great, especially the orange and black. But is the blue and white making a push, influencing young minds in just under 4 years?
You see a lot more Penn State jerseys on the ice than you do Flyers and Penguins jerseys. So the turnaround's been amazing in just a couple of years.
Last year we had a lot of kids that had the clear glass cage instead of the metal one, and the coaches and I joked it was the Casey Bailey effect, because he wore it and we started seeing it pop up at practices. Kids were starting to try it out. They'd switch from the metal cage to the clear one just because they wanted to be like Casey Bailey. So.
Programs like this are what turns a kid into the next Bales. As hockey director, Patrick oversees 4 programs that are currently running, with the Nittany Lion Hockey Developmental Program being seasonal, while the Learn to Play Hockey runs year-round on 6-week schedules. No experience required, just heart and passion.
This program is for anyone looking to get involved. You start out in Hockey 1, which is just learn to skate. You can come out here and never have touched the ice once, and you can learn how to do it.
They really make it a lot of fun. They have they play a lot of games. It's not a very serious competition. The kids really learn how to skate. They really enjoy learning all about hockey and just getting their skills from Hockey 1, 2, and 3 the whole way up through until they really start competing in hockey. And so far, it's been wonderful.
Expense is always a key for parents. Some developmental programs in other sports like AAU basketball, it seems to be more about making money than teaching the game, but not here.
Ratio is great. I've never seen the amount of teachers they have on ice for this amount of kids. It's a great opportunity for them.
They're here to teach kids, and then when you move on to the travel hockey, it's all a volunteer-based organization, and coaches are just volunteers. A lot of the dads get into it and help out. There's enough cost in it with the ice fees and whatnot, so we try and keep costs as low as possible.
Not one to pat his own back, Patrick and his staff are doing a tremendous job. Many parents told me off camera how much they love the program. As for Ryan, he gets pumped watching the skill set grow.
When they get out here, the parents are just amazed how quickly the kid takes to it and learns how to skate, and then pretty much they fall in love with it from there. So it's pretty exciting to see.
As you can see, the ice is filled. Strength in numbers is key, and obviously a good sign for the future of the sport, especially in the Happy Valley.
Hockey's growing. I mean, with the Penn State facility here now, hockey used to be relegated to Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, Hershey, but Central Pennsylvania is going to turn into a hockey town, no doubt about it.
Bold prediction, but I could live with a wrestling-hockey combo right here in Happy Valley. For more information on the youth leagues, go to gopsusports.com/Pagula. And with that, I shoot out of the studio. Last episode on The Center of It All, we introduced our new segment called The Pet of the Show, and we introduced Gus, who is a success story from being adopted from Center County Paws. Well, this week we're out at Lions Kennels in Bellefonte, and this is Bullet, 4 to 5 year old male beagle who weighs about 35 pounds. He's a little bit camera shy, but you know what? He's not shy on the affection and love that he gives. He loved playing with the neighborhood kids. He's with Nittany Beagle Rescue because his owner died, and we want to find him a forever home. And this week we're out at Lions Kennels, as I mentioned, who partners with Center County Paws and Nittany Beagle Rescue to help them take in some dogs when they're out of space. So I said Bullet 35 pounds. He loves being around people. Took a liking to me right away. He's looking for his treats that I have hidden right now. But he's microchipped, he's up to date on all his shots, and he's ready to be taken home. He is an outside dog, but we believe he could be housebroken really quickly because he's very smart. He does go to the door and he does bark. How could you turn down those beautiful brown eyes? And he is a beagle. It is my favorite pet. So for more information on how you could bring Bullet into your home in a forever home, contact Kathy over at Nittany Beagle or Lions Kennels out here in Bellefonte. Say bye, buddy. Say bye. Don't be shy. Thanks for watching this edition of The Center of It All. Remember, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and check us out on YouTube as well. Okay, buddy. Good job.
Need an early week pick-me-up? How about some ACC hoops? Maybe some Tar Heels, huh? What if WHVL aired the North Carolina-Boston College game? What if it was Tuesday at 8 p.m.? Well, it is, and they are. I know. Contain your excitement.